morning.
I mean, the truth is, if it really pours, that's okay, because people will realize it's my real hair.
Today, President-elect Donald Trump will be sworn in as the 45th President of the United States. The event's happening today, and the protests happening across the country. Plus, an update this morning on the Broadway Bridge, when crews say it could be now finished if weather cooperates. And an artist is putting an interesting twist on portraits of pop culture icons. His creations range from 6 feet tall to a grain of rice. Why he does it, and we'll show them all to you coming up.
Good morning. Here's a live look at the nation's capital as Washington, D.C. is getting prepared for Donald Trump's inauguration. The time now is 6:30. Welcome into Daybreak. Glad you're making us a part of your morning as we get to all of those inauguration activities that will be going on throughout the day. We'll be covering it, of course, right at 7 o'clock. Good Morning America takes over.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the Washington, D.C. traffic map just for good measure here in just a couple of minutes. Nothing like what we're going to be experiencing this morning, of course, and a nice clear commute, which I think drivers out there deserve after the week 2 weeks we just went through.
We've dealt with a lot of rain in the morning, a lot of fog.
Yeah.
Today we don't really have much of either. A little bit of fog, but not bad. And the rain is moving to D.C., so you'll see that today on the Inauguration Day coverage, as well as the rain chances increase during the day there. But we're rid of it. There it is. As a matter of fact, you can see it right there as it heads towards Washington and Raleigh and on into the northeastern United States later on today. So finally, rain-free. I told you to count on it on Friday. But Saturday, we bring back a small chance and actually a good chance for Saturday night into Sunday morning. But in the meantime, let's enjoy it. Kind of cloudy still, though. We don't have much sunshine yet, and it'll take a little while. But I think this south wind will help those clouds to kind of scatter out. And as we go through the day, you'll get some sunshine later. I'd say warm, though, today because you really don't need much of a jacket. A light one as you head out the door this morning. That's all you need. 68 for a high, though. Coming up, though, when does that rain come back? And where is there a chance of severe storms? I'll tell you in just a moment. Chris?
Melinda, thank you. As I mentioned, here's a look at Washington, D.C. right now. As you can see, there are a couple yellow and red lines as folks are getting ready for the inauguration parade, but really a lot less than I expected. Here's a look as we speed back down to our Little Rock, North Little Rock Metro, and everything here is all green and clear, which is great news for those who have to head out the door early this morning. Zooming in on a couple of our sky cams. First, starting on the Main Street Bridge in the heart of downtown Little Rock and North Little Rock, Broadway Bridge in the background. And you can see the traffic there is very light in volume. A little bit more of a moderate level of volume right now on 630 East and westbound next to Arkansas Children's Hospital, and some merging delays getting on from that looks like to be Woodrow over there at this time. And finally, a look at the Big Rock interchange. A moderate to heavy level volume coming in on 430 southbound next to Rodney Perriman Cantrell. It's on the left-hand side of your screen, but once you get to the Big Rock interchange, everything spaces out and you have a nice clear commute at this time. We'll keep you updated on your traffic throughout the morning right here on Channel 7. Once he officially becomes president, Donald Trump is expected to sign a series of executive actions starting as early as today.
ABC News political director Rick Klein has more on what the new president is immediately facing as he tries to make good on his signature promises.
Getting inaugurated is the easy part. It's governing that's difficult, and Donald Trump's first 100 days are littered with potential landmines. He's going to start by trying to deliver on his campaign promises, beginning with a repeal and replacement for Obamacare and starting work on the border wall. He can do some of these things without full congressional consent. Other things he'll need Congress to go along with, and he needs to start delivering because he needs to deliver on campaign promises as he watches his right, his conservative flank, some of them so skeptical of his leadership. He'll need to start enacting some budget reforms, some reforms to government generally, and deliver a Supreme Court appointment despite almost certain Democratic opposition. Then becomes the really interesting part, which is he's going to watch his left. He's going to be looking for potential Democratic allies, scrambling coalitions as he tries to cobble together some other proposals, including one to spend upwards of $1 trillion remaking the nation's infrastructure, roads and bridges. He won't find many conservative friends on that, so he is going to need to pick off some Democrats, and that's where Donald Trump and his appeal to the American people becomes critical. Lots of people on both sides rooting for his failure. Rick Klein, ABC News, Washington.
Rick, thank you. The swearing-in ceremony is going to begin at 10 o'clock Central Time.
Channel 7's Elizabeth Armstrong is in the live news center with a look at the buzz leading up to the event. Good morning, Elizabeth.
Good morning, Allison and Chris. We're keeping an eye on some of these live cameras right now. A beautiful sunrise in D.C. this morning, and we are starting to see some activity at the White House and the Capitol. Let's take a look at some tweets this morning. We've got one from Sam Sweeney. He's a reporter at our sister station in WJLA in D.C. We've seen some problems this morning as people have been waiting in line to get into the inauguration area since around 2 this morning. 706, one door at 12th Street open, only 2 magnetometers working, not enough staff to operate all of them. The Secret Service is reporting power outages at several of the gates and entrances into the inauguration area, so we're keeping an eye on those. Also reporting some peaceful protests have started in downtown D.C., so we'll keep an eye on those as well. One person not tweeting this morning, that's the President-elect Donald Trump. The last tweet he made was last night after their family made an appearance at the Lincoln Memorial. The President-elect tweeted after the event saying, "Thank you for joining us at the Lincoln Memorial tonight. A very special evening. Together, we are going to make America great again." Many Americans also taking to social media this morning to discuss the day's events. Inauguration protest, inauguration time, and MAGA, the abbreviation for Make America Great Again, are all trending on Twitter this morning. But social media is not the only place people are expressing themselves. Fayetteville High School students actually wrote letters to the president-elect and spoke with ABC about their hopes, fears, and expectations for the Trump presidency.
I know you have faults, but I believe in your ideals and want a better economy and safer country. I want a stronger military. I want other nations to look up to us and be intimidated by us, because that's the only way they will pay attention to us.
I am trying my hardest to stay calm, but I am afraid of you, Congress, and your advisors. This is supposed to be the country of the free, not the country of only the white, the Christian, the male, or the straight. It's for everyone.
With each passing
Be sure you make your voice heard today. Log on to our Facebook page, that's at KATV Channel 7, and make your voice heard there. Let us know what you're thinking. Allison and Chris, back to you.
Elizabeth, thank you. And that brings us to our question of the day. We want to know, which inaugural event are you most excited to see today? If you're going to be watching the swearing in, the president's speech, the parade, or tonight's inaugural ball, you can head over to our KATV Facebook or Twitter page at KATV News right now to vote.
Two taking the lead on Facebook right now, the swearing in ceremony 51% and President Trump's speech at 41%. You can keep voting and make sure you stick with Channel 7 for continued coverage of President-elect Donald Trump's inauguration throughout the day.
Now to an update on the Broadway Bridge construction. The contractor thinks they can beat their deadline, opening the bridge from beginning to mid-March. The Arkansas Highway and Transportation Department says as long as we continue to have a mild winter, everything should stay on track.
All right, coming up next on Daybreak, a unique story as an artist is producing some art that would also be called unique. It ranges from 6 feet tall to painting on rice and Cheez-It crackers.
At 6:53, we'll tell you what lit the fire as he is trying to turn his hobby into a professional career.
And looks like it's shaping up to be a pretty good day. Dry streets finally. Fog's not too bad. We'll take a look at that, plus a warmer day. We'll talk about when rain re-enters your forecast over the weekend. That's in just a moment.